Hello, fellow YouTubers. This is Rudolph21 with another episode of the Clemente Chronicles. And on this episode, I'm going to try to kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to reveal the winner of my guess the grade and put them in the right order of my 69 tops Clementes. And then yesterday, when I got off of work, guess what I found on my doorstep? My SGC order that I sent out last Tuesday. And I did a preview of the cards I was going to send out. Um, Originally, it was 17 cards. I purchased like five other cards, and I decided to throw them in there. Also, we got I sent them out Tuesday last week. Got them yesterday. A total of 9 days. That was fast. In my opinion, it was a little too fast. So I wonder if the grades, if they really grade accurately. I don't really know. Orlando from the Collector's Dream, he did a video of him going to, I think it was CSG school for grading. I think it was a couple years ago. And it did state that they expect the graders to grade a car within 2 to 3 minutes. I think that's a little too fast for me. Yeah, I want my cars graded nice. I can understand the backlog, but I expect at least maybe, you know, 4 to 5 minutes. That's just me. Enough of the rant and the chit chat. I'm gonna go ahead and get this started here. Bad enough. This is probably gonna be a long video. So these are the cards that I got here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that started. The grades are what I expected. My previous video, I did guess the grades of some of the cards. And for the most part, I was pretty accurately. Some cards I'm disappointed in, some I'm not. Some of them were better than I thought. But let's go ahead and get this started. So I'm going to start off with a bunch of, I think I graded three of the Topps peel-offs. My first one I got was a 2. Here, it seems like, I don't know if anybody has the same problem. When I do grade my vintage inserts, they seem to grade usually about 4 or 5, if that. For me, it's like I think I got a couple of 3s and 4s. That's the average. But the videos I've seen and the cars, the inserts I've seen, usually up to 5. So don't get them too highly graded. I guess on these, I guess they 3 to 4. This one came out back a 2. I think I got a little tear on the side here. You can you can really see it here. But I guess in their opinion, it was graded a 2. It is a instructional back. I got a 4 in the second one. Another instructional back. The 2 is a cleaner peel off because of the rip there. I'm assuming that's the reason why I got a 2. My third one I got was a 3. This is a blank back, and I'm going to show you something here. This is a card that I had on one of my displays here. It's a blank back. That one got a 2. It's a brown back, a blank back, and this is the instructional one. Now, the difference between this one, that and blank back, and this one is this is the white version. Very hard to come by. Very hard to come by. So I'm glad I got that done. I put on the notes that I wanted the SGC to annotate it blank back, but for some reason they didn't do it. I don't know if they do that or not, but my request was denied. Next batch I'm going to show you are my Kellogg's. Kind of disappointing to these here. I expected higher grades. Start off with 72 on Kellogg's. I don't know. It's for some reason I shipped it out without a crack and wanted to be a crack on it. I don't know if it's During the shipment, the weather over here in Omaha is more humid, so my cards seem to be cracking here. And I had a bunch of cards that were never cracked, and then all of a sudden I got cracked. A very small crack here, if I'm not mistaken. I got a 1.5. I did do an experiment on the 71 one that I knew was cracked, and I wanted to see the grade on it. But this one got a 1.5. The other one did not show a crack on there. It wasn't cracked, so it got a 3. It's a clean one. I think I guessed 4s or 5s on these, so I wasn't too off on that one. This is the experimental one. I knew it was already cracked. I wanted to see what it would come back as. Came back as a 1. That one. This one. This one had no crack. I got this about 3 months ago. It was clean. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a good grade on this one. But between when I purchased this and send it out, I had a tiny crack, and then when I shipped it out, looks like the crack got bigger. You see right there on that angle. Not too happy. I think I'm gonna wind up purchasing this card already slabbed. Not too happy with this one. I have a friend who collects these, and he said that he had one graded an 8, no cracking, nothing like that. And a few years later, a crack developed on it. So he said, even though they're slabbed, they will develop cracks on it. It depends on the way how you keep them. So sad to hear that. A 70 Kellogg's, no crack on that one. It's a 4, which I assumed that was gonna come. That was a grade. This is my favorite of all the 3D cards there, the Kellogg cards, and I love it with the tux look. 71 Dell's Today Stamps. Roberto Clemente here. Nice. A 4, I guess the 4 and it was a 4. And it seems like I said, these little oddball cards, they always seem to be 4s and 5s for me. I'm glad he got a numerical grade instead of authentic. Still got all the borders. So this was a little disappointing. I was hoping to get a 2 or a 3 LE or a 4 on the 66 Tops rub-offs. Got a 1.5. I got a ding on this corner here and a couple of wrinkles. The wrinkles were my fault. These things are so delicate. It's like almost like rice paper, and I love the wrinkle. I am glad that they did slab it the correct way, backwards. A lot of companies slab them this way. The Bob Clemente there. They're glad they did it this way, the color version up front. So, I'm glad I got a slab. So this is my PC card. So I'm not gonna upgrade this. This is fine the way it is for me. This one's a little disappointed. 1.5 on the 65 transfer. And for some reason, some of the color rubbed off, and I don't remember having it rubbed off. I looked at my other previous video. It didn't seem like it was rubbed off. So during the movement here, I don't know if it was because it was on the top loader, it was so tight that it rubbed off, but got a 1.5. I was expecting the 3 or 4 on it. These cars are hard to get. Same thing with the rub balls. I'm glad they slabbed it the correct way. Let's see what else. I have a 69 photo stamps, hand cut, a 4, which I expected. Still got the black border on the side. It's nice. There we go. Perfect. I just like them slabbed in there. Yeah, I mean, these cars, especially vintage, they just look great on the SGC holder. 69 Tops decals, 3.5. I guess the 4 or 5 on this one. I've seen these worse off center, and they've gotten 5s. So, but this is a clean card. I don't know why you got such a low grade. Yeah. I wish it was closer to the stamp, the borders, but At least it's not too one-sided to the other. So this one is what I expected. This is a tattoo card. 71. I've got it in a full sheet. I didn't want to get the full sheet slabbed, so it's kind of beat up in the back, and I expected a 1, and it was in a block of 4, and I just ripped up the Clemente. Never seen a Clemente slabbed in an SG holder on the tattoo, so I didn't know if they did. Later on, I found out that they did, but it was on all the labels. So I wound up getting a 1 like I expected, but it's clean. The front's clean, so it looks good. Like I said, I don't like too much of a gap there, but it's still centered, so that's what I like. Not bad. Even for the back looking this bad, but the front looks great. This is another disappointing card here. This is a 64 Witty stamp. And I know this is just not mine. I've seen them in videos. I've seen them in auctions that this card is hard to get a good grade on. I've seen cards they look immaculate, centered and everything, and he's still getting 4s or 5s. My card is centered. I got a 2.5. I expected a 4 or 5. At least a 5 for some reason. I don't see no wrinkles on it. I don't see no creases. It's centered. Maybe because of the edges. Don't know. But it does look good being slabbed. So, I mean, I got a little ding there. A little, not ding, but a little mark there. But don't think I'll bring it down that low. Like I say, I wonder if they really take the time to take a look at the card. But, all right, 71 Thurman Munson. Everybody knows how hard this card is to get center and the corners, you know, the black everywhere. It's a hard card. I guess the 5 on this one. The back looks great. And I got a 5. Sweet. One of the most iconic action cards that the Topps ever made. Sweet. All right, this Carton Fist, Cecil Cooper rookie card. I guess the 7 on this one, 6 to 7. And wound up getting a 7.5. Nice. Not a Red Sox fan, but I do respect Carton Fist. He was, one of the better catchers in Major League Baseball. And I love the rivalry he had with Thurman Munson. Those two guys used to get into it all the time. I'm happy with this grade. And the card that I was really excited in getting back was this one here, the Ernie Banks 67. It's all center in the back, but the front was such a sweet looking front here. Corners were sharp looking. It was centered and everything. I guess a 7 on this, and I got a 7.5. Awesome. Look at that picture. Ernie Banks reminds me of Roberto Clemente. He cannot take a bad picture. Out there. Sweet. All right. There's a couple cards that I got re-slabbed. I just got newer labels. 67. Willie Mays here. I had the old green label. I just wanted to get the new modern label. I love this card. I love the smile he's got on that face. And this one was a PSA crossover. It was a Transogram. It was authentic, so I figured it would still be authentic, and sure it was. But it looks much sharper. It looks better with the tux look, with the black and everything. It's a nice card. A real nice card. I think it said minimum size not met, which I expected. I mean, it being hand cut and don't have the black borders on there. I got my 66 Tops Venezuelan with the new label also. 1.5. Happy with that one. Hard to find these in a look at the back, how immaculate that is. You're gonna be hard pressed to find one like this. Very happy. Also, I had a 66 Tops that I got graded also. It was a raw card I found. Got a 6. I guessed a 5 on that one. So I'm happy with that one. These cards are just hard to find centered. So centers is going to come there. I'm happy with that. So that's my SGC order. Now, let me reveal the winner of my guess to grade or put the grade in the proper order. So put the camera down just a little bit here. There you go. So I was going over a little rant here about purchasing the card and not the grade. I had this as an example. These cards are almost identical, but they have 3 different grades on there. So what I wanted was for people to guess the grades from the lowest to the highest on there. I had 10 participants who submitted their opinions on these. I got the list here, and I'm going to go ahead and read off of who did participate. Had Joe from Four Soft Corners, Vintage Car Steve, Vintage on Vintage, Bra 6 Brian, Pittsburgh Fan 66, Clemente Collector Theo, Brent from New Mint Musings, Clean Cheap Shots, Scott from Reindeer Studios, and Obi 155. So there were the 10 that participated. Thank you so much for doing that. And I'm going to tell you, out of the 10 participants, 5 picked the same order, which was 2, 1, 3. So they thought this card was the lowest graded one. This was the highest. And out of the 5 who did that, they were Vintage Car Steve, Pittsburgh Fan 66, Clemente Collector, New Mint Musings, and Clean Cheap Shots. And you guys were not the winners. Yep. 2 participants selected 3, 2, 1. And those guys were Vintage on Vintage, OB155. And you guys were not the winners on that one. Had 2 folks picked 3, 1, 2. And you guys were Brian from Bra 6 and Reindeer Studios, Scott. You guys were not the winners. That left one person who guessed 1, 3, 2, which was Joe from Four Soft Corners. And this is weird. Joe, you were not the winner. So out of 10 people, no one won the contest. The correct order was 1, 2, 3. 1 was a 5. That's a clean 5. 2 was 6. Clean 6. I think the 5 would look better than the 6. The last one was a 7. I think this was the worst one. But it got the highest grade. I think the 5 looked better than the 7. Center-wise, it does at least. So, that is the correct order. 1, 2, 3. So, I don't have a winner here. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm still going to pick a winner. I'm going to do the Wheel of Fortune here. So let me move the camera up here so you guys can see. So I put all 10 participants in this. Reindeer Studios, Four Soft Corners, Raw 6, Obi 155, Pittsburgh Fan 66, Clemente Collector, Clean Cheap Shots, Vintage Car Steve, Vintage on Vintage, and Near Mint Musings, the 10 participants. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a couple of shuffles. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and give it a spin. And good luck to all participants. Here we go. More money, more money, more money. Let's see who we got here. Yeah. And it looks like Vintage Car Steve is the winner. Oh, this is going to save me money on postage. He's from Nebraska. Steve, congratulations. And thank you, all you folks, for participating in my contest. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. This is Mark signing off. Take care and be safe. Peace.